If your money is sitting in a standard bank savings account right now, it is probably earning somewhere between 0.01 and 0.05% per year, which means if you have $50,000 parked there, you are making about $5 to $25 annually in interest. Meanwhile, the accounts on this list are paying anywhere from 4 to 6% on that exact same amount of money. That is the difference between $25 a year and $2,000 to $3,000 a year. This video covers 5 accounts that are actually paying real yields in 2026, how each one works, and which type of saver each one makes the most sense for. Stay through account number 5, because it is the one almost nobody uses, and it is specifically built to outperform everything else on this list during the exact economic conditions that erode savings fastest. High-yield savings accounts are the easiest entry point and the most direct upgrade from a standard bank account. The concept is simple. You move your cash to an online bank instead of a traditional brick-and-mortar one, and you earn dramatically more interest on the same dollars. Right now, the top high-yield savings accounts are paying between 4 and 5% annually, which is 40 to 50 times what a standard big bank savings account offers on idle cash. The reason online banks can pay these rates is straightforward. They have no physical branches, no tellers, no real estate overhead, so more of the interest margin flows back to account holders. Banks like SoFi, Marcus by Goldman Sachs, Ally, and American Express consistently compete for the top spots. The accounts are FDIC insured up to $250,000. Your money is fully liquid and can be withdrawn at any time, and opening one takes under 15 minutes. If you have an emergency fund, a down payment fund, or any cash buffer sitting in a traditional savings account, this is the easiest upgrade available. On $50,000, the difference between 0.01% and 4.5% is roughly $2,200 per year, every year you wait. But high-yield savings accounts are not the highest-paying option on this list. Here is where things get more interesting. Treasury bills, commonly called T-bills, are short-term debt instruments backed directly by the United States federal government. When you buy a T-bill, you are lending money to the government for a fixed period, anywhere from 4 weeks to 52 weeks, and collecting interest at a rate set by market demand at auction. T-bill rates have been highly competitive with top savings accounts, and depending on the specific term and the current rate environment, sometimes better. Here is the piece very few people factor in. Interest earned on T-bills is exempt from state and local income taxes. If you are in a high-tax state like California, New York, or New Jersey, a T-bill paying 4.25% may net more after taxes than a savings account nominally paying the same or slightly more, because savings account interest is taxable at every level. For someone in a state with a 9% income tax rate, the after-tax gap is meaningful. Buying T-bills requires no specialized account. You can purchase them through treasurydirect.gov with a minimum of $100, or through any major brokerage. 4-week and 13-week bills are the most liquid options. Most investors set them to auto-roll so proceeds reinvest automatically at the current rate with no action required. For cash, you will not need for at least a few weeks at a time. T-bills are one of the cleanest options available. Account number 3 is something more people are discovering now, largely because it lives inside accounts many of them already have open. Money market funds are mutual funds that invest in short-term, high-quality securities, primarily treasury bills and other government-backed instruments. They are not the same thing as money market accounts, which are bank products with variable and often lower rates and more restrictions. The distinction matters because money market funds consistently offer rates that track closely to the federal funds rate, paid out daily as dividends. Funds like the Fidelity Government Money Market Fund, ticker symbol SPACX, and the Vanguard Federal Money Market Fund, ticker VMFXX, are two of the most widely held. Both have been paying competitive rates in the current environment, and both are accessible inside any standard brokerage account at their respective institutions. Many brokerages automatically sweep uninvested cash into a default money market fund, meaning the cash sitting idle in your account between trades may already be earning money market rates without you having done anything. If you have a brokerage account and hold any cash there, check what that cash is earning. You may find it is already in a fund paying a meaningful rate. If not, you can move it there manually in a few clicks. Now we get into the accounts that require one thing most people resist: giving up short-term access in exchange for better guaranteed rates. Because number 4 locks your money up, and in exchange, it guarantees your rate no matter what happens to interest rates while you wait. Certificates of deposit, or CDs, allow a bank or credit union to offer a guaranteed fixed interest rate in exchange for your agreement to leave money deposited for a set period, typically anywhere from 3 months to 5 years. The rate is locked in at the time you open the CD, which cuts both ways. If rates rise after you lock in, you miss the upside. If rates fall, you keep the higher guaranteed rate for the full term. The smarter approach to CDs is not putting everything into a single one. It is a strategy called laddering. You divide your available cash across multiple terms. A portion into a 6-month CD, a portion into a 12-month, a portion into an 18-month, and so on. As each one matures, you evaluate whether to use the money, reinvest it, or roll it into a new CD at whatever rate is current. This keeps you from being fully locked out of liquidity while still capturing better guaranteed rates on the portions you are confident you will not need soon. The most important practical note on CDs: the biggest national banks consistently offer the lowest rates. The best CD rates come from online banks and credit unions, which have lower overhead and pass more of the margin back to depositors. A quick comparison before opening any CD can be the difference between 3% and 5% on a fully guaranteed return, which on a meaningful principle adds up to a significant difference in real dollars over the term. And then there is number 5, the account that was specifically designed to address the problem that erodes all the others. Series 1 savings bonds, issued by the United States Treasury, earn interest at a rate tied directly to inflation as measured by the Consumer Price Index. Every 6 months, the Treasury announces a new composite rate based on the inflation data from the prior period. When inflation is elevated, I-bond rates rise to match it. During the peak inflation period in recent years, I-bonds were paying rates above 9% annually, far above what any bank account or money market fund was offering at the same time. The constraints on I-bonds are real, and you need to understand them before buying. You cannot cash I-bonds for the first 12 months after purchase, no exceptions. If you cash them before reaching 5 years, you forfeit 3 months of accrued interest as an early redemption penalty. The annual purchase limit is $10,000 per person per calendar year through treasurydirect.gov. These rules make I-bonds wrong for an emergency fund or any cash you might need on short notice. They are also wrong for parking very large sums, given the $10,000 annual limit. But for cash, you are certain you will not need for at least a year, and that you want to protect from the inflation that quietly erodes the real value of money sitting in even a well-paying savings account. I-bonds are a structurally different kind of instrument. A savings account paying 5% when inflation is also 5% is treading water. An I-bond is calibrated to at least keep pace with the same inflation rate that is depreciating your dollars. For the right portion of a cash reserve, that distinction is meaningful. Here is the takeaway from all 5 of these. Every account on this list shares exactly one thing in common. None of them are the default. The savings account your bank automatically set up for you, the one that has been quietly earning 0.